Hello folks, I just wanted to take a minute to show you what the PowerSchool portal is going to look like for our students and their parents when they log into PowerSchool. Let me just do this. Okay, so this is just a demo account that we set up. When they first log in, they're going to see this screen here, right here as the name of the students, and if there's multiple students in the system, so even if it's at SACS or at other schools, it's one login and they'll be listed here. When they log in, they'll start with this grades and attendance page. On this page, they'll see the schedule and they'll see the courses that they're in. Again, this is a demo that we set up. You can see that Rick has been working hard over the weekend and he set this up for us where we can look at Spanish. Spanish 4, we have Wendy Baker is the teacher. For Jack Smith is the student. But the grade as it stands, the current average is here under Q1. These are blanked out because there are no grades in them yet. When you click on this 82 on the Q1 grade, you log in and you go into grades and attendance. And in this spot we have teacher comments, that you have an opportunity to write comments specifically for the student and the teacher and the parents. Here it says, if it weren't for the late and missing items, Jack would be rocking my course. So as a parent, if you were to see this, or a student, you were to see this, you would think, I can do it. I just need to stop handing those things in late. You look at the section description is a copy of the syllabus that really was just a copy and paste right into the section description information. As you scroll down, you get into the assignment and the scores. And you'll see here are the due dates. Here's the category that each assignment is in. Here's the name of the assignment. Codes I'll talk about in a quick moment. You have the scores, the percentage, and then the grade over here. Now, very briefly, a couple of these categories are links, like this PC. If I click on that, it gives me this category description. What is PC? Well, PC is participation. And it tells me grades in this category are based on the student's involvement in these class activities. So it gives me a little bit more information about what that category is. If I go to assignments, a couple of these are links. If I click on quiz body parts, again, it gives me that assignment description. As the teacher, you have the option to put this in or not to put this in when you're working in your gradebook. Okay? So I go over here into the codes. Now these are a right click in the gradebook. When you put them in, it shows up on the portal and it shows up in your gradebook. And what it does is it serves as a good reminder for you and a good way to communicate some things to the students and the parents about the assignments. For instance, this grade here on this test assignment, it's blank out of 10. It says ABS here, and the purple diamond means the score is exempt from final grade. So when I look at this and I see that, I'm not worried about it. The score doesn't count in the final grade. It gives me a little information. Maybe it's something that you used formatively in your class for whatever purpose. This parent form, there's a check for collected, and then there's a star that says not included in the final grade. So I've collected it, I have it, but again, it's not included in the grade, which explains that line. Now you might use the check for collected if you collect things from students, you collect homework or whatever it is, but you haven't actually had a chance to go through and grade them, put the grades in. What you could do is quickly just put the green checks down the line, then the parent will know, the student will know that you've gone and collected that information. This red triangle says that this was late. So when I look at this binder check, 70 out of 100, I say, wow, 70 is pretty low for a binder check, but he turned it in late. Now this is also a link over here, which I'll get to in a minute, but again, as the teacher, when you're doing this, you put that information in, and it becomes a link if you enter that info. Again, this little golden square is missing, and that's why it's a 0 out of 5. So again, it tells me. The codes are ways we can communicate with the students and the parents, so that as a parent, without this here, if I look and say 0 out of 5, why did he get a 0 out of 5? Now I look at this, I say, oh, he hasn't turned it in yet, and I can go to Jack and say, what's going on? Again, in the scores, this gives us the total points and the score that the student got. This 70 on the binder check is a link. So these comments this is specifically around Jack, and comment to him about this. Jack's binder was not complete on the due date. Always check for typos, which translated in 10 points off of his grade. So that explains why that grade was what it was. Here, this 10 is also a link, and it says, again, an opportunity to give a comment on the score. It would be good to hear a little more from Jack during in-class activities. So participation, he wound up getting a 66. This, in the gradebook, you have an opportunity of not publishing the scores yet. This is what it shows when the score is not published, that the score is not published. So that's something, if you collect essays, papers, and you need time to grade them, if you do 4 or 5 at a time, you can do 4 or 5, and just set in the gradebook not to publish until you're ready. When all the scores are in, it can go ahead and publish automatically. You can go back now and say publish now. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Now, if you use weighting for your grade, and I think most people do, versus total points, that weighting will be explained to the students and the parents through the portal in this special weighting section. So what we set up for the sample was, and it shows that in the semester 1 term, the exam is worth 20%, so your midterm. Your quarter 1 is 40, your quarter 2 is 40. Now, if this was the Q1, if it was homework this, participation that, tests and quizzes this, project, however you break it out, it would show the weight for that term. So it should provide the information here that for parents and students to use. Now, if you use total points, it'll just say total points, and they should be able to figure that out. So this is obviously the biggest piece of the portal as we open it up. There are other links here as well. I'll go through very quickly, but this is where your work in the gradebook gets sort of filtered through PowerSchool to be presented to the students and the parents through the portal. When I scroll back up, I can also look at grade history, and here I can look at history for 2009-10, 10-11, and 11-12. So our student here is a senior who we're using as our example. Attendance history gives me back that year, so I can go back through and I can see the attendance history for the year. Obviously, it's the beginning of the year. There's not much here. Email notification. This is, as a parent or student, if I would like to be notified, be emailed, sort of progress updates from my students. So I don't have to go ahead and log into the portal all the time. They can send me information. I can set it up here, and I can get, these are my options. I can choose how often I'd like to get it, and I'd like to get it never, weekly, every 2 weeks, monthly, or daily. And the email address it comes from, my email address, and I can say go ahead and set it up. I can do this and then say set it up for all my students in the district, or I can do it just for this one student. I can also click it to send one now. Now what that sends is essentially a text file of what we just saw. So it doesn't send anything different than what you've got in your gradebook that's already being shown in the portal. It just puts it together and sends it out to them. Again, nice thing about it is this push kind of system. It's automated. They can choose how often they want to get it, and you don't have to think about sort of sending progress reports and things like that. So it's helpful. School bulletin, when they click on here, if we were to post any bulletins, they would be here. Those are school-wide bulletins that generally I set up. Rick helps me do that. And we go through and set up saying, welcome to school, welcome to the portal, click this, click that kind of stuff. Account preferences is where they can change their username and password. Honor roll shows the average for each of the quarters the student was here and the level met. That has been there. We've had that on our portal from the beginning. This shows the student schedule, and it even lets them click in to see the matrix schedule that we use. And then finally, the last one, school information, which just gives our address, phone number, and my email address. And if you'd like your email address there instead, just let me know. But it just gives them some information about the terms and that stuff. So essentially, the most important part is this grades and attendance piece. Clicking through here is how it works. I'm going to be showing this live at Open House for the 9th grade orientation. I'll be showing it tomorrow morning for our PFA orientation, and hopefully now at least you feel like you have a sense of what parents will be seeing, what students will be seeing when they log into the system. Oh, by the way, you might notice that these are links as well. If they click on these, it does roll over into your, and put your email address there so they can send you an email. But again, as they go into the gradebook, this teacher comments are specifically for the students and the parents when they log in. The section description is seen by everybody in that section. Then the assignments obviously are specific to the students. The weighting will be the same for everybody in the section. So I hope that helps. I hope I haven't talked too quickly. And certainly let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.